Thinking about moving to Philadelphia? Maybe you're just living in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and you need to learn some more. Well, you came to the right place. Today we're going to talk about the 5 do's, the 5 don'ts about living in Philly. And these are very important to know, and you're definitely going to want to know these to make your life easier. Number 1 on the do's, use public transportation. If you want to stay sane, not go crazy, you should really start using public transportation, especially if you're moving here. Now, if you're living here and you thought about, man, maybe I should do some public transportation. Maybe I shouldn't, I don't know. Then I'm going to tell you right now, you definitely should do it. This traffic here is insane. It's an absolute nightmare. You got roads like 476, 76, Roosevelt Boulevard, Broad Street. They are crazy, and if you can avoid those, you definitely want to make sure you do that. Why torture yourself? Why go through all this when you have trolleys, you have buses, you have a subway? Yes, is it as good as, well, I should say, no, it's not as good as New York City. Is it better than sometimes sitting on traffic when you're on 476 or 76 that has traffic every time, place of the day? Then yes, then use some public transportation. Don't be a stranger. Don't try to kill yourself. You gotta remember too, Roosevelt Boulevard and Broad Street. If you don't know, Broad Street now has traffic cams. Yes, they have speed cameras on Broad Street. Yes, they have it on Roosevelt Boulevard. Had it for a while. Roosevelt Boulevard not only has speed cameras, also have light cameras right on Roosevelt Boulevard. You speed and go through a light, you get 2 tickets, and they're about $100 a pop. So for less than $100 a month, get yourself a SEPTA card. Use it as much as possible, so that way you can avoid some delays. Number 2, own a bike. Philly is actually a huge bike-friendly city where 2 wheels might be better than 4. And I didn't know this, but Philadelphia actually has over 400 miles of bike lanes. 400! That's insane. You know, to drive from Philadelphia to North Carolina is about 400 miles. So we have the same equivalent of that kind of mileage in bike lanes in Philadelphia. Do yourself a favor. Get yourself a bike. There's a lot of bikes. And actually, we're ranked in top 3 in the country when it comes to Philadelphia and their bikes. We're ranked maybe 1 or 2 of the bike-friendliest cities in the United States. It's insane amount of bikes you will see here. Now, keep in mind, I will say this, we have beautiful, I will keep this, one part, keep this in mind, beautiful trails. You got the Schuylkill River Trail, amazing, beautiful skyline views. You got the Wissahickon Valley Park, great bike trails over there. Make sure you take advantage of that. But, there's not a don't, but keep in mind, if you are gonna get a bike, guess what happens a lot? Yes, people will steal your bike. So make sure you don't spend $1,500, $2,000 on getting an amazing bike to drive back and forth to the train station or drive back and forth to work. Get a medium average sized bike, a bike that you won't totally cry over if someone steals it. Yes, they will steal it. And I can tell you how many times I walked in Center City and seen a good old front wheel or back wheel locked to the pole and the rest of the bike is gone. In fact, what a lot of bikers do, it kind of cracks me up, but it does happen. They'll drive their bike to the subway, they'll lock the bike up real tightly, and then they'll pop off the front wheel, and they'll actually take the front wheel with them to work. They'll take the front wheel right on the train or on the bus, and they'll take that with them to work. Because no one's stealing a bike without a front wheel, all right? Good little tip for you. Keep that in mind. If you are gonna get a bike, get a real good lock, and don't be afraid to take the front wheel with you when you go to work. And yes, it happens. If you do it, you're not gonna be the only one doing it. I mean, it just happens. People steal your bikes. It happens. Keep an eye on it. Make sure you take advantage of it. Getting a bike, and you take advantage of the bike lanes. Number 3, tax abatement. If you're gonna buy a house here, you can live in Center City, make sure, don't make sure, but at least try to take advantage of some of the tax abatements that we have around here. Back in 2000, about year 2000, areas like Northern Liberties, Fishtown, Graduate Hospital, Port Richmond, the city would give those areas huge tax breaks to the contractors over there. So that's how those markets started booming, because they got 5 or 10-year tax abatements. What that means is basically your yearly taxes, not monthly, your yearly taxes are around $500 to $600. Yes, instead of paying anywhere from $4,500 to $6,500 in yearly taxes for the next 5 or 10 years, you might be paying 5 to 6 years. Now the program has cut back a little bit, but they're still out there. Still a lot of construction going on where they're offering 5-year or 10-year tax abatement. And to me, it's a great opportunity, because if you're only coming here for a job, because some people come here as basically like a stepping stone to Philadelphia, they'll work work 5 or 6 years, and then they move on to the next thing and next town. There's some people that work for large pharmaceutical companies that get transferred all over the place, and they might get transferred over here, and then sometimes the transfer only lasts 3, 4, 5 years. So why not take advantage of the tax abatement? So if you're gonna buy a house and you're looking at, thinking about, hey, what should I do? I'm trying to save some money, tax abatement program might be great. Not only that, by saving that money, you can obviously pay down your mortgage. And then, or if you don't want to do that, you have some extra money you can spend during the year. Now, mind you, if you're gonna look for tax abatement homes, make sure you get a good realtor. This guy right here, my contact info. If you're looking for a good realtor, thinking about moving here, moving within the city, moving to the city, moving out of the city, this is the guy, all right? Make sure you reach out to me. But seriously though, because I can set up a separate search of strictly tax abatement homes, which makes your life easier when you're looking, if that's what you're looking to do. Some people don't. Some people like the older homes. Guess what? They don't really have tax abatement. It's the newer construction homes that have that. So with that being said, we're gonna move on to the next one, which is number 4, live near a park. And by the way, number 4 and don't, in the number 4 category and don't, make sure you stay tuned for that. This is extremely important. Number 5 on the do's and number 4 on the don'ts are probably the most important part of your stay of moving here or living in Philadelphia. And once you've seen it, you're gonna go, all right, that makes sense, especially if you lived here for a while, or if you moved here, you're gonna remember, like Chris said, Chris said this about 5, Chris said about 4 don't. So number 4, if you can, live near a park. Now Philly itself does sell itself as a small town vibe town. It really does. Like there's certain areas and certain neighborhoods that have a real small town vibe to it. You definitely want to take advantage of that, especially if you're living near a park. Now, if you're thinking about moving here and not sure what neighborhoods, make sure you check out this video, top 5 best neighborhoods. Yes, there's even a 6th one in there. It's awesome. Either way, let's get back into it. Want to look for green spaces? Once you leave Center City, you'll find lots of row homes, but there are certain spots like Fairmount Park. Fairmount Park, and I didn't even know this. I just learned this not too long ago. It's one of the largest urban parks in the country. It has about 2,000 acres of trails, historic mansions, and even a Japanese tea house. Make sure you check out that Japanese tea house in Fairmount Park. It's pretty freaking awesome, I'll have to say. It's really cool. But you also have, if you go to Roxborough Manayunk, you have the aspect of Wissahickon Valley Park, you got waterfall. Yeah, you do have a waterfall. There's a tiny waterfall, but there's a waterfall. Some cool trails, you got horseback riding. You can take your bike, that bike that hasn't gotten stolen yet, you can take that to Wissahickon Valley Park and ride it on the trails there. And it's funny when you go there, it's kind of funny and a little bit crazy because you'll be walking and you got to watch out for the horses. Yes, there's people horseback riding on the trails. I don't know, it's just like when you're walking around and you see the kids running around and you see the trails and the mountain bikes and people walking and the horses and and you're kind of like, wow, I live in Philly. You wouldn't think you lived in Philly just because the way it's set up. That park is beautiful. It's a long park. I mean, it goes on for miles. So you go there, it's gonna take you a while to get from one end to the next end, and then you gotta walk back too. Gotta remember that. But you do have smaller neighborhood parks like Clark Park in West Philly, or you got the Rittenhouse Square Park right in Center City. They're really tiny, but they're really cool. They have a really nice vibe to check out and kind of, hang out. I can tell you, Rittenhouse Square Park is real tiny, but people, if it's nice weather, people are hanging out there all day. It's a real cool vibe over there. They got some great restaurants around there, so make sure you do that. Check that out. Number 5. This is probably the most important of the do's, is number 5. Remember, the most important of all of this list is number 4 on the don't. So just remember that, okay? Number 5 is embrace the sports culture. If you move to Philly, this is a football town. I don't care what anybody says. This is a football town. Yes, right now, as I'm doing this video, the Philadelphia Phillies are in the playoffs again. They were in the playoffs last year. They're back in the playoffs. So I will tell you, baseball is huge, but football is bigger. And we have Philadelphia Phillies, Philadelphia Eagles, Philadelphia 76ers, Philadelphia Flyers. You have those. They are there. In fact, we even got the Philadelphia Union, which is the soccer team outside of Philadelphia. It's actually in Chester, which is about half an hour, 40 minutes away from Philly. But we do have a soccer team. And I do also believe we have an actual lacrosse team. Now, if you're watching this and you're sure we don't, comment below, let me know if we still have it. One time we had the Philadelphia Wings, a professional lacrosse team, so we have the sports, but it is a football town. So when you move here, you kind of want to get involved in that, because once the playoff starts, With the Phillies, as of right now, people are real gung-ho. And I can also tell you, when it comes to the Eagles, people will get insane here when it comes to the Eagles. And it is kind of a different vibe when it comes to the Eagles. I mean, listen, in the old Veterans Park, where the Eagles and the Phillies played together at the same during their seasons, I mean, Santa Claus came through an Eagles game and he got booed. And in fact, not only did he get booed, they threw snowballs at him. Yes, the Philadelphia people threw snowballs at Santa. That's how passionate. And I think it was because they were losing and they were mad. The Eagles were losing and they were mad, and then Santa Claus showed up and they were mad. So they decided to let Santa Claus have it because he obviously wasn't helping the Eagles to win. And we still talk about that years later. And I can tell you, last year, the Eagles won the Super Bowl. In 2018, the Eagles won the Super Bowl. First Super Bowl ever, they won. The parade, the party right after they won was insane, to the point where right before the Super Bowl game, the city of Philadelphia greased the poles. I'm talking street lighting poles with Crisco so people wouldn't climb them. And guess what they still did? They climbed them. And it's just when they won the Super Bowl in 2018 and then last year, things went crazy. I mean, you would think it was a riot, but it really wasn't. It was just people going nuts over it. And that's how crazy they are here when it comes to that. So if you are moving here, you're not a sports fan, just kind of take it in a little bit. Because I will tell you, if you go to like Xfinity Live during a football game or even Chicky and Pete, it's like a crazy atmosphere. It's like a Mardi Gras atmosphere that goes on. And you got to go to ones because you just got to experience it, because when you go back home, whatever that is, you know, you go back to the West Coast or wherever you're coming from originally, go back to visit your family, you're gonna have to tell them about this, because if you don't experience it, you don't know what I'm talking about. So make sure you check that out at least once. So remember that, embrace the sports culture. That's probably the most important of that, because that'll make your life easier when you live here. You don't have to love it, but just kind of take it in, get a feel for it. Go to a Phillies game, go to an Eagles game, go to, you know, any of those sports teams. Go there once, check it out. But I'm telling you, it is, when it comes here, it's a football town. It's EAGLES all the way through. Remember that, okay? Now let's get into the don'ts. We got 5 don'ts. So let's talk about number 1. If you are moving here, you seriously want to consider not bringing your car, especially if you're in a smaller town. I moved here in 1999, came from a smaller upstate town, brought my car. It wasn't as bad then as it is now. It's pretty bad. We are probably, I think in 2023, there was a study done that we are the 5th most congested city when it comes to driving. And I talked about it before. Talked about when you were on the SEPTA, use SEPTA. Remember one of the do's, we talked about SEPTA? Yeah, really, if you can avoid the car, definitely do it. Why? Because first of all, like in the city of Philadelphia, every year you lose about 114 hours sitting in traffic. And I didn't know that either. And I just learned that a couple months ago. And I was kind of amazed, and I thought about it. Being a realtor and driving a lot, I kind of put together like, yeah, that sounds about right. I sit in traffic a lot. I do. I mean, listen, if you're sitting in traffic, it's not legally to scroll through your phone, but make sure if you're sitting in traffic, you check me out on Instagram, check me out on TikTok, check me out on Facebook, send me a Facebook request. If you're sitting in traffic, you know, car accident ahead, you got to sit there. Don't be afraid to scroll through my phone and check out my other videos, all right? My other video I have, for example, you definitely want to check out 5 cons living in Philadelphia. 5 really bad things about living in Philadelphia. Make sure you check out that video. Anyway, so to avoid that, don't bring your car. If you bring your car's gonna get scratched. It's gonna get dented. You're probably gonna lose 1 or 2 of your side mirrors. It's just gonna happen. Another reason not to bring your car here is parking. Parking is awful. Parking is terrible. It is garbage to park here, especially like if you live in certain areas like South Philly. People there own 2 or 3 cars to each household. So that means like times when you get home late from work, you're not parking in front of your house. You're probably 3 blocks away parking. Like, and then you got to walk to your house, right? So it's like parking in Philly is practically like a blood sport. And another reason not to bring it is it's expensive to park. It's expensive to get a ticket. The tickets aren't cheap. And I could tell you, because I've gotten one. I've gotten more than one. It's kind of a rite of passage. You move to Philadelphia, you're going to get a parking ticket. Did you know that the PPA, Philadelphia Parking Authority, it's kind of like the mafia. Like it's like a governmental mafia. They handed out, I think last year, 1.5 million tickets. They generated about 250 million in parking fines. That's insane. Think about that. That $250 million could finance some small countries in our world, all right? So even if you do have a residential permit, because there are places like over on Spruce Street, Center City, those areas that you have to get a residential permit if you live there, so you have to pay for that. But that doesn't mean you got a spot in front of your house. So remember that. And plus, in the wintertime, you're really fighting for spots because people will shovel out their car and they will put like a traffic cone or a lawn chair in that spot that their car was originally when the snow came, and they shovel it out, and God forbid you move anything. So if you can, avoid bringing your car. If you can leave it wherever it is you're coming from, and you can get away with using SEPTA, using the trolleys, using the buses, using Uber, using the cabs, the Lyft, if you can get away with that, or even use SIP cars, you can actually rent a car for the day or a couple hours if you need to do something important, do that. Otherwise, don't bring your car. It's gonna get beat up, it's gonna get scratches, it's gonna get bumped, it's gonna get dented, and you're gonna get tickets on top of that. Plus, you still, your insurance is gonna go up because you're in the 5th largest city in the United States. Your car insurance is gonna go up. So then the expenses on a car just adds and adds and adds. Number 2 of don'ts. This is probably geared more towards the ladies, but men, pay attention. Ladies, if you can get away with it, don't wear heels when you're walking around. The sidewalks of Philly aren't very kind to high heels. I know, I'm just telling you, they are not very kind to high heels. And I will tell you that most women, when they work especially when they work in Center City, they will wear sneakers. They will wear sneaks. They'll jump on the train with their sneakers, got their high heels in the bag, and bring them to work. And men are starting to do the same thing, because especially if you're riding the subway, you're gonna get stepped on. Your shoes are gonna get busted up because someone is gonna step on your shoes. It's just as simple as that. Now remember that. So don't be afraid. We got a nice suit on, throw your sneakers on. Ladies, same thing. Got a nice business suit, don't be afraid to wear your sneakers, bring your high heels, or men, bring your fancy shoes to the job, okay? Don't try to be cute. Don't try to be a superhero. You hit those, your heels hit those cobblestones or indentations in the sidewalk, you're gonna bust a heel and you're gonna be mad you didn't bring your sneakers. And you're gonna be upset because you spend a lot of money on some of these heels. And the men, by the way, you're gonna be upset when you're on the subway and somebody steps on your shoes and they scuff them. Oh, it's happened to me and it's annoying. So don't be a superhero. Wear comfortable shoes, wear sneakers when you get there. Number 3, don't wander alone. Please don't. Absolutely don't. All right? Remember that. Be safe. You have to be safe. If you're gonna go somewhere you're not familiar with, check out apps like Spot Crime Citizens. Make sure you check them out because we have violence. 260 homicides last year. And believe it or not, that's down from the year before. Homicides, crime has gone down, but it's still very high. We are the 5th largest city in the United States. We have crime. Don't be stupid, be smart, think about where you're going, and check out your surroundings. Be obvious your surroundings. If you're going somewhere you're not familiar with, take Uber, take Lyft. Again, like I said before, don't be a superhero, all right? Make sure you keep track of that. Number 4, the most important one. This is the most important one of them all. I will tell you, I can tell you how important this is. It really is very important. The fact is, when you're number 4, you go to football games, you go to baseball games, don't wear the other team's gear. Seriously, especially if you're a Cowboys fan, don't do it. Don't even think about doing it. If you go to an Eagles game wearing a Cowboys jersey, I can't vouch for you, and neither can the fans. They are crazy. If you go down the street, you can wear a different hat. You can wear a different jersey. But don't wear it to the Phillies game. Don't wear it different. Yes, I'm a Mets fan. Sorry. Born and raised in New York. Been a New Yorker for many, many years. Love my New York teams. I would never wear this to a Phillies game. I would never wear a Giants jersey to an Eagles game. So think about that. I've said it before. Don't be a super. Definitely don't do that. Especially if you're a Cowboys fan. Don't be a Cowboys fan and tell everyone you're a Cowboys fan. Don't go to a bar wearing a Cowboys jersey. Don't go to a game wearing a Cowboys jersey. In fact, wear something green. You will fit right in and people will love you and they won't care about you. But if you wear the opposite team, especially to a football game, I can't promise what's gonna happen to you. Last but not least, when it comes to Philadelphia, don't just try the cheesesteaks and the pretzels. You know they eat pretzels with mustard here? It's a huge thing. In fact, they also have something called water ice. If you don't know what water ice is, definitely check it out. It's very sweet. And what a lot of people do is they get a water ice with a pretzel. It's insane. and it's water, W-A-T-E-R, not water, W-O-D-D-E-R. Remember that, okay? But try other restaurants. There's some amazing restaurants. There's Michelin star restaurants right in Port Richmond. There's Michelin star restaurants in Center City. The restaurants have won the James Beard Award. Try them out. There's a humongous restaurateur, Steven Starr. He's got some amazing restaurants like the Budokan, El Vez. Jose Garces has a great restaurant called Tequila, just reopened. Amazing restaurants. Make sure you check them out. Just don't settle on the Pats and the Genos and Del Sandros and the cheese, those cheesesteaks. Make sure you check out a local bar that has an amazing cheesesteak and amazing food. Make sure you check that out. Either way, if you need anything else, this is my contact information. Thank you so much for reaching out. I freaking love doing this. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, check out my other videos, and I hope to see you on the other side.